A Brighter Path, presented by Virginia Industries for the Blind, in cooperation with Winston-Salem Industries for the Blind.
Consider the human eye, a small sphere approximately 1 inch in circumference. While other parts of the body continue to grow throughout life, the eye remains virtually the same size from birth. And yet this tiny organ is made up of several million working parts and can process 36,000 bits of information every hour. The eye is the only organ that is directly connected to the brain, and excluding the brain, it is the most complex organ in the human body. In an instant, the eye can activate hundreds of muscles and organs. Individuals with healthy eyes rely on them for roughly 80% of the information that they gather about the world around them. To better understand some of the diseases that can deteriorate our vision, it is important to know how the eye functions. When we look at an object, light enters the eye through a transparent covering called the cornea. The cornea, which is approximately the size and thickness of a dime, provides 2/3 of the eye's focusing power. The iris, the pigmented tissue that lies behind the cornea, gives the eye its color and houses the pupil. By expanding or contracting, the pupil regulates the amount of light that enters the eye. Light then passes through the crystalline lens, which helps to focus the images onto the retina. This highly sensitive nerve tissue is made up of millions of light receptor cells, called rods and cones, and lines the rear 2/3 of the inner eye. Rods are responsible for low light levels or night vision, and cones are responsible for sharpness and determining color. The macula is the small central area of the retina that is responsible for critical focusing. At the center of the macula is the fovea, which produces the sharpest vision needed for reading or driving. As light hits the retina, it converts the images into electrical impulses that are then sent along the optic nerve to the brain.
I have glaucoma. I can remember one day I was out in the parking lot.
Glaucoma is caused by an increase in fluid pressure inside the eye.
A plane flew by overhead.
At first, there are no symptoms. Vision stays normal, and there is no pain.
I kind of moved my eyes around a little bit, the plane would disappear. If I moved my eyes slightly to one side, then I could see it.
As the disease progresses, however, a person with glaucoma may notice his or her side vision gradually failing, while objects in front remain clearly focused. Unless the pressure is controlled, it may cause damage to the optic nerve and other parts of the eye, causing one's field of vision to narrow, eventually resulting in blindness.
You're telling yourself, well, nothing's wrong with me, I'm okay.
Macular degeneration is commonly associated with aging and is also known as AMD, age-related macular degeneration. There are 2 types of macular degeneration, wet and dry. Dry macular degeneration is caused by a slow breakdown of the light-sensing cells in the macula, resulting in blurred vision. As fewer cells in the macula are able to function, people with macular degeneration will see details in front of them less clearly. As dry macular degeneration worsens, new blood vessels may grow and cause wet macular degeneration. These fragile new blood vessels often leak blood and fluid under the macula, causing rapid deterioration. The classic early symptom of wet macular degeneration is that straight lines appear crooked. As the loss of the light-sensing cells of the macula increases, people may experience a growing blind spot in the middle of their field of vision. Macular degeneration does not lead to complete blindness, however, as it does not affect peripheral vision.
The man asked me about being a supervisor.
Diabetic retinopathy is a complication of diabetes. Diabetic retinopathy has 4 stages and usually affects both eyes.
I told him that I couldn't because I didn't have the education and I was blind.
In the earliest stage, as small areas of swelling occur in the retina's blood vessels, changes to one's vision generally go unnoticed.
He told me that I could do anything that anyone else did if I would apply myself.
As the disease progresses through the next stages, blood vessels that nourish the retina become blocked, thus depriving several areas of the retina of their blood supply.
And he worked with me that way, tremendously.
An overall blurriness begins to develop. The affected areas send signals to the body to grow new blood vessels. These new blood vessels are abnormal and fragile. If they leak, patches of severely distorted vision will evolve that float over the field of vision. In many cases, blindness results.
I still think about it.
A cataract causes loss of vision by clouding the eye's lens. The crystalline lens is made up mostly of water and protein. As people age, some of these proteins may begin to clump together, clouding a small area of the lens and making it more difficult to see. As a cataract develops, vision becomes slightly blurred, as if looking through a cloudy piece of glass. Colors appear more muted than they once did. Light may seem too bright, often causing a glare. As the cataract gets bigger or ripens, it clouds more of the lens. The word cataract means waterfall, an appropriate name, because for people with a ripe cataract, it's like trying to see through a waterfall.
I was diagnosed in my early 20s and was devastated. The doctor said, "You'll be blind by the time you're 40. You need to get a seeing eye dog and start learning Braille." Do you have any questions?
Retinitis pigmentosa, or RP, is the name given to a group of inherited eye diseases that degenerate the rod and cone cells of the retina.
It was very hard to hear that I was not the person I believed I was.
In the initial stages, most people with RP will experience night blindness or difficulty adjusting to dimly lit spaces. As the disease progresses, patients lose their peripheral vision completely and experience changes in depth perception. Later stages of RP cause diminished visual clarity and color perception. Most cases of RP usually leave the patient with tunnel vision, but more severe cases can lead to complete loss of vision.
So the plans for your life get thrown out, and you've got to rethink who you are and what you want to be when you grow up.
pretend to yourself and then pretend to others that you can see just like they can.
Mind over matter or something, maybe. I can just stop giving things up and somehow that'll be okay.
I'll wake up tomorrow and everything will be fine. Of course, you wake up and, things are not fine. In fact, they're a lot worse.
There's always those that's gonna, make fun of the fact that you can't see. Not only do people think we are blind, but we are also stupid.
They thought I was crazy, or I was drunk, or I was on drugs, or I was arrogant. I simply couldn't see them.
Just treat me as normal as possible.
Yeah, I've got another half of a life to live. I want to make a difference.
If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with one of these eye diseases, take heart. Every state in the nation has established programs to help persons with low vision and the totally blind. While these programs vary from state to state, they all offer ways to regain independence and improve quality of life. Their services provide a variety of devices, strategies, and training to cope with the loss of sight. Some examples include magnifiers that bring back the joy of reading and browsing family photos, closed-circuit televisions, and comfortable telescopic glasses that help make even small printed material accessible again. Non-optical aids, such as talking clocks and watches, as well as kitchen aids and medical products, are also available. Training on computer screen magnification devices and screen reading software opens the door to exciting new technologies. The state-sponsored and nonprofit organizations that support the blind also offer education, vocational rehabilitation, and independent living skills to help people understand and live with the different eye conditions. To find the state-sponsored or nonprofit organization that supports the blind in your area, use a search engine and simply type "blind services" and the name of your state. Don't let another day go by in the dark. Learn how to successfully manage your eye disease and get back to enjoying your life.
When dark clouds form all around you and hope seems miles away, a brighter path will light up your way. So take heart, come out of the darkness and into the light of day. A brighter path will show you the way. A brighter path, a brand new day. A brighter path will lead the way. A brighter path, a brighter way. A brighter path today. 'Cause I